world events like 9/11 is an event that changed the way that we function forever. And I think that this is one of those moments as well.
Alex is back on, and maybe he can do your screen for you now, Joe. Sorry to interrupt, but
No,
I just
that's
saw
okay.
Alex pop in.
Alex, could you give me the ability to share my screen? Oh, looks like you did.
Done.
Great. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot about the early start time.
No, that's all good.
And Alex, can you mute everybody as well, please?
Let's see. Can you see my screen? Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, could you record, Alex, please?
Recording has started.
Good.
So our default reaction is to want to retreat back to what was certain. And I think what's important for us, if we're going to be creative, if we're going to seize the moment that we have to take advantage of this time, we really have to accept reality. And reality in this moment, for me, is we just realizing that we're not going to be able to go back to what was. And this will eventually end and life will resume. But life is actually going to be a bit different than it was before the pandemic. One of the silver linings to this whole thing is that technology is actually becoming our friend a little bit. And the thing that we have to realize is that people will always need singing. So when this pandemic is over, when we get to the point that we are able to come together again as a chorus, this is something that everyone will always need. And I believe that there's going to be a pretty extreme hunger for it when we are able to get back together again. Barbershoppers are some of the most creative and resilient people I can think of. And it doesn't always feel like it. I think a lot of us during this pandemic have felt a little stuck. But we have to reassure ourselves that we are not only creative, but some of the most creative people in the choral arts world. And we really have to rely on that creativity to allow us to be productive during the pandemic. Because I genuinely believe that if we can seize this moment, as unfortunate as it is, that we can emerge better than before. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. So you may be saying, well, Joe, that's easier said than done. And I would totally agree with you. So we'll break down a little bit about how we can do this more specifically during a pandemic. But I said before, there is a silver lining, and I really do believe so. I believe that the Barbershop Harmony Society and barbershoppers in general are like a train that has entered a very dark tunnel just a few months ago. And some people believe that there's absolutely no way out of this tunnel, while others can actually see a small light in the distance. And if we adapt and respond positively to the uncertainty that we face, not only will we make it through the tunnel, but I am certain that we'll come out of the other end an even better train. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different. And if we want to be better, we'll need to embrace that change. So for those of you who have been barbershopping for a long time, of which I know we've got a number of you on the call, think of the last time that we've truly evolved as an organization. We hold our conventions the same week, singing 2 songs for a panel of judges the same way. Now, music has evolved a little bit over time, but essentially the way that we have done things as an organization has remained, for the most part, fairly similar over decades. So it is a bit scary and in some ways unfortunate to think that some of that might not go back to the way that it was. But I can assure you, as a staff member, having traveled and talked to various music educators and people interested in singing, that our future is incredibly bright. So you may be thinking, this is all well and good, Joe, very motivational, but how does it connect to me and my chorus right now? So I'd like to give you a few suggestions of how that might happen. So everyone is reacting to this pandemic in their own way. And I think everyone's entitled to that. But I think that a chorus should consciously decide how they're going to react as an organization. And I've said it already, but I'll emphasize again that while so many businesses are suffering and not likely to weather this pandemic, I really believe that barbershop choruses are well positioned to transcend this unpredictability and potentially even come out of it stronger than we entered it, if we act quickly and we act with our unique creativity. Fortunately, many people are finding comfort in singing during these times. If you look on social media, you will find video after video of people singing with themselves, people singing and playing an instrument, and people are finding comfort in that during these times. However, many other people are finding that the confidence and vulnerability that's required to sing without your fellow singers around you to be highly difficult, frustrating, and unfulfilling. Regardless of what kind of music we are or aren't able to make during these crazy times, the most important thing that our singers can do right now is to simply keep showing up for each other and provide that essential social connection that barbershop has been known for decades, and support whoever happens to need it the most at any given time. So for those reasons and more, our motivation and approach cannot be singular. I found success in giving my members permission to not sing specifically to prepare for a performance that is going to end up being canceled, but I've had to give my members permission to sing as a simple reminder of our passion for singing and its intrinsic beauty as a universal language and uniquely personal artistic outlet. At the same time, we are finding ways right now to remind our community that while they may be physically isolated at the moment, they are not alone. Singing is a resource that they can rely on to get them through their isolation. So I'd encourage you to experiment with different ways to provide not only your members, but your community with the essential social connection necessary to engage, now virtually of course, but with others in your community so that everyone can benefit from the joy of singing. Given our required isolation, there are so many ways that we can engage with people during this pandemic, but the fewer approaches we take, the fewer people we're going to reach. So I'm gonna go through the 4 different methods of engagement that I've been using recently with my chorus to ensure that I'm able to connect with everyone in their own way. The first way is what we're doing right now, and we call it the live interactive video. This is our weekly virtual rehearsal over Zoom, and many people are joining these live video activities as the one opportunity for them to be seen and heard while isolated. Even with 60 people muted, The opportunity to be seen, to raise a hand, to ask a question, to say hello, it provides that necessary connection to life that is lacking in so many other ways at the moment. So while some have been reporting fatigue with virtual activities and these types of opportunities, others have remained completely engaged as often as we can produce them. So we have found out in doing these that there's an attention span of 15 to 20 minutes per activity, unless, of course, you have an incredibly exciting speaker like Joe Cerutti. If that's the case, then of course you can go on for hours. But we have found that you want to keep things moving to about a 15 to 20 minute pace per activity, and that's kind of our virtual attention span. We've also noticed that it's really important to provide a variety in that virtual rehearsal. So we tend to split. We do a rehearsal for about 2 hours. We rehearse from 7 to 9, on Tuesday nights, and we split that time pretty evenly. We do about 25% or a half an hour of singing and rehearsing. We do 25% education, 25% entertainment, and 25% social. And I'll break down what we do with some of those different things in our Zoom call. All of that is brainstormed. All of that content that we do, we brainstorm. And the objective of that brainstorm is that we don't want to do anything that our members can simply do on their own. So if we do something on the Zoom call that our members can do on their own, our numbers on the Zoom call are going to start to decrease over time. So it's making sure that we're constantly doing things that they can't access and get on their own, which is what will keep them coming. So some of the singing and performing things that we do, obviously a warm-up. Sometimes we have a guest come and do our warm-up. Sometimes we use the Harmony University videos on YouTube for warm-ups, and sometimes we do them in-house. We tend not to work with learning tracks because learning tracks, again, are something that our members can do easily on their own. So we will ask every week for volunteers for the following week who will sing short little 16 measure parts of a song at a time, and we will all go on mute and sing with them. And then I or another coach in the chorus will critique them, and we'll go back and forth working with that one singer, with all of us singing, duetting with them on mute. We'll also do a decent amount of woodshedding on popular songs. For instance, You Are My Sunshine. I'll have them take out their phones and record themselves singing harmony to me. So I'll sing You Are My Sunshine, and I want them to duet with me as we're recording it. And then I'll ask them to send the duet of me and them to someone else in the chorus to woodshed a third part. And they send it to woodshed a fourth part. There's no special technology that we use. It's just our phone and email or texting, but it keeps everyone engaged, and it has us doing unique things that we could only do during the pandemic. For education, we use all sorts of different Harmony University videos. We have guest instructors in all the time, like you're having me come in to speak. We have what we call in-house electives, which are our members talking on different topics that they're passionate about. And sometimes those topics don't even have anything to do with the chorus. For instance, in 2 weeks, we are having an in-house elective on the appropriate way, the appropriate order to watch all of the Star Wars movies. Now, that has nothing at all to do with barbershop, but what it is doing is it is allowing us to watch one of our members talk about something that they're passionate about. And I believe that after a series of these sorts of things, we're going to come back together eventually as a chorus, as a tighter knit community of singers, because we've gotten to know each other better during the pandemic. So we've done those sorts of things. For entertainment, every rehearsal, we do a very short member interview. So we learn how they found the chorus. We learn what they do for work. We learn where they grew up. We learn what hobbies they have outside of barbershopping, so on and so forth. And we get to know one member a little bit better during every rehearsal. We will have guests in to just do Q&As. We've had Marty Munson, the CEO. We've had Clay Hine, the baritone of the quartet Fred and great arranger. And we just do a Q&A with them. We will watch YouTube videos of our chorus, of choruses that we aspire to be like. And we have theme nights. Wear your favorite barbershop t-shirt, things like that. And then we do a lot of things that are purely social. We have happy hours before rehearsal. We have afterglows after rehearsal. And in every rehearsal, we use the breakout function in Zoom to randomly send everybody off into small groups of 4 to 5 people. And we talk about a specific topic. We alternate each week from musical topics to non-musical topics. So we'll talk about what was your favorite performance with the chorus, and then the next week we will talk about which cookie is better, the chocolate chip cookie or the oatmeal raisin cookie. And then we'll come back from those small groups, report to each other, and it gives everyone on the call an opportunity to talk just a little bit. And as you're doing, which you're already head and shoulders above the rest, there are tons of opportunities to team up with other choruses or visit other choruses to lighten the load and to also kind of show off a little bit and motivate yourselves as well. So that's the first of the 4 methods. The second is the pre-recorded non-interactive video. The pre-recorded non-interactive video allows people to consume resources at their own pace, regardless of their geographic location or time of day. These are the most inclusive resources. Now, they lack the live interactive aspect, but these videos can cover a broad spectrum of topics, from artistic things to administrative things, from educational things to entertaining things, how to sell more tickets, how to raise more money, how to learn music more effectively from home, how to use Zoom and Facebook for some of our older members who are not as good with technology. We talk about the origins of our repertoire. We review past performances. We review performances from groups that demonstrate a quality that we aspire to achieve, so on and so forth. So for us, we set a goal of recording a few videos a week, and we post them to Facebook or right on our member website. And these are 5 to 20-minute videos. With a chorus of 100 guys or so, we have a goal of recording about 5 of those videos a week. But even recording 1 video a week would give you a library of resources throughout the pandemic that our members can rely on when they can't sleep at night, they wake up early in the morning, whenever they want to engage in barbershop or chorus related things. That is the opportunity for them to do that. So we've made a goal of making sure that we do a few of them a week, and then we slowly build that video library. Since doing that back since March, we now have a video library of about 60 to 70 videos that even people that are just starting to join the chorus during the pandemic, of which we've had a few members join during the pandemic, they now can go online and have access to all of these videos. I've said we review past performances. We talk about some administrative things. We review where our songs came from, and we listen to original recordings of songs. We interview chorus members on some of those videos as well, do topics on how to learn more effectively from home. We even do a video challenge where one guy will get on and sing part of a song, and then he'll challenge other members to come on and sing the same part of the song. So it's motivated other members to get online and sing as well. So that's the second of the three resources. The third of the four resources, sorry, the third is various non-video resources. So as we are approaching the end of the summer, no one wants to sit behind their computer as the only way to engage in barbershop, right? So we have been creating different resources that allow us to either print something off or download something so that we can listen to it and go to the park or go on a hike or go out of our house and still be able to engage in barbershop. So these are different podcasts that we can download and listen to on our phone. There are a bunch of barbershop podcasts that are out there. These are other audio recordings, past recordings from shows, contests that we can make available to our members. These are even spoken audio recordings on different topics. We'll do history lessons on the BHS or our own chapter, our contest history, our members' history. We'll do tutorials on different educational topics. We'll even take some of the videos that we put on Facebook and just strip the audio right off of them and make them available as well. We also annotate all of our sheet music. So if you wanted to better work on or understand the emotional plan, the breath plan, the dynamic plan, any of those sorts of things, we have those available to our membership. And then we will also connect the annotated sheet music that you can print off to an audio recording that you can listen to while you're looking at the sheet music as well. So we have the live video, the pre-recorded video, and the non-video resources. And the last method that we use is the importance of casual social connection. And I think this is probably what I have found to be the most important to my chorus. We are living in a time now where we are socially disconnected. So an opportunity for us to connect, even virtually, is needed more than ever right now. So this is happy hours before rehearsal. These are afterglows after rehearsal. Sometimes we can just do Zoom calls that are not even connected to a specific rehearsal, but just to get together. We've been doing old-fashioned phone trees to check in on those who haven't been attending rehearsal, to just call them up and not to say, hey, where are you? We need you to be at rehearsal, but to say, are you okay? Is there anything that we can do for you during this time? So we've been using old-fashioned phone trees to do that. We've even taken some of our younger guys who are healthy and interested in going out and singing, and we have gone outside of members that we know are isolated. We've gone outside their house. We've called them on their phone and said, hey, come to the front door. Don't come outside. Don't open the door, but just come to the front door. And they see us standing there and we sing them a song and it brightens their day. So we've been doing some surprise singing telegram visits as well. We've even gone to the folks that we know are alone and isolated and even just a bit worried to go out in public, and we've offered to buy their groceries and things like that. So all of this may seem like a lot and may seem easy for 100-person chorus to take on, but all of this is scalable. As I've said, I've met now with you're my 77th chorus, and a lot of these choruses over the last couple of months have reported back and said, you know what, I thought at first that this would never apply to my chorus, but we've tried doing these things at our own pace, slowly, and they really, really work. So consider what works for you, consider what is needed for your chorus. But all of these things are scalable at a chorus of any size. So with that said, I just want to talk quickly about what do we do when we get to that point where we're kind of stuck, where we say, you know, okay, the purpose of this whole presentation, of course, is mindset, right? Being in the right mindset. And the thing that I've noticed is that there are so many choruses that say, yeah, that's great, but we could never do that. And I don't think that that's true. I think that anyone who is feeling that way is probably just stuck in that survival mindset. So it's really important to take a step back and really evaluate your mindset. And if you find that you are one of those people of which there are many who can't get beyond that mindset of survival during a pandemic, find and surround yourself with people who share a growth mindset and allow them to help you to take the steps forward. I think it's important that each chorus documents their own strategy and shares it with their members. I think that a lot of choruses during this pandemic are just waiting it out. They're just saying, you know what, we're going to just wait until we can get back together again. And then we end up losing time when we can actually be taking advantage of this time, like you guys are doing right now, to bring someone from across the country who probably couldn't just simply come visit your rehearsal, but during a pandemic, we can make those things happen. So document those things and share them with your members so that you can manage their expectations in terms of how long this might last and what they can expect to do while we're in this situation. Look to other choruses, not only in BHS, but in your own community, the non-barbershop choruses in your community, and share best practices. We've decided that we will not be the first chorus to get back rehearsing. We're going to wait until a few other regular choruses in our community get back together again so that we can learn from their best practices before we get together. So create a network with some of the other choruses in your community, as you're already doing with the barbershop choruses that are on this call, and figure out what they're doing and how they plan to come back together after all of this is over. Lean on the Barbershop Harmony Society through all of this. Mac set this up with me through the Barbershop Harmony Society, and there are many more staff members who have wonderful classes and wonderful topics that they can talk on. So lean on the Barbershop Harmony Society, not only for virtual chapter visits, but for all of the wonderful educational and entertaining content. This week, you may or may not know, was this past Saturday was our Legacy Quartet Championship semifinals. These are videos from the best second place quartets going back into the 50s and 60s. So all of that content in a few days is going to be released on YouTube. So there are going to be never before seen videos from the 60s, 70s, 80s of some of the best quartets from international that will be put up online as well. So take advantage of all of those opportunities. If you feel that you're actually in a significant rut, many choruses have been taking a week or two off, giving their members a break, and then just reconsidering their approach so that when they get together, their members are fulfilled by what they're doing. And of course, always ask for help. There are plenty of people willing to help and willing to be a resource, and they don't even have to be in your community or in driving distance. So with that said, that is essentially the presentation in a nutshell. And I'll stop for a moment and see if we have any questions, or if there's anything that anyone, anything I didn't cover, or anything you'd like to talk about. And as you can see on this last slide, I have my email address, which is my first initial and last name, J Cerutti, CERUTTI @barbershop.org. If there's anything that I can do or anything I can do to help out, you could always feel free to reach out to me. So with that, I'll pause and see if we have any questions.
I have a question.
Great.
You mentioned doing the singing telegrams and going around to members' houses. and that was helpful, and that's been a very good thing. But you didn't really mention quartets. Other than that, are quartets active in your chapter, or are they finding ways to get together?
We don't have the quartets in our chapter right now are not active. We have individuals who are younger, who are wanting to get together, and even when they get together to do those singing telegram visits, they stand pretty far apart with masks on. I don't know how things are up where you are, but here in the DC area, things are still pretty bad. We have unfortunately lost 2 members to COVID-19. We lost a member back in April, and we lost another member last week. And we just had our 3rd member enter hospice just yesterday. So we are being incredibly safe when it comes to getting together. So I think for that reason, a lot of our quartets said it's just not worth risking it, you know. So when they do get together, it's to brighten the day of one of our members that we know really needs it. And it's done safely, standing apart, wearing masks, but none of our quartets have gotten together. A few of them have experimented with recording on their own and trying to put it together like a virtual chorus, but nothing has happened to really get together as a quartet quite yet.
You mentioned new members, Joe. I'm curious as to how you attracted new members.
Yeah, that's a great question, Glenn. One of the things I said early on is that, you know, we've always viewed ourselves as barbershoppers as a performing group. We stand up on a stage, we perform for you, and you know what? We're realizing that this pandemic is kind of changing why we exist. We can't perform during this pandemic, so if we're a performing group, we've got nothing to do. So what we have come to realize is that we're not a performing group. We are actually a community asset for the intrinsic benefits of singing. And do you know how many people in our community right now are in need of the intrinsic benefits of singing? Whether you can match pitch, whether you love barbershop or not, the benefits of singing are something right now that just about anyone needs. So we have marketed ourselves to our community as, hey, are you struggling during this pandemic? Do you need a network of people? Do you need the benefits of singing? Come visit our chorus. And we get guests that have been coming regularly. And many of them have ended up saying, this is unbelievable. I want to join you guys. So so far, I think we have had 3 guests become members of the chorus. And every week we have a series of guests that join us that just say, you know what, I need people to hang out with. And if that means I get to sing while doing it, then great. So whenever we work on music, and I said we only work on music 25% of the time, and even in that 25%, much of that is taken up by a warm-up. So we only work on chorus music for a small percent of that time, and when we do, we share the screen like I was sharing my slides with the sheet music on it. So we don't have to give them sheet music. We don't have to give them anything. We can just share that screen and they're on mute. So if they can't match pitch, it doesn't matter to us as long as they're loving what they're doing and they're learning about barbershop and they're singing along. So we started by telling our membership, hey, if you have friends that are struggling, get them on this call, get them to join this. And then that's kind of branched out, and our community has become aware of it and is now viewing us not as their local barbershop chorus, but as a community choral arts organization that specializes in singing and has been kind of promoting us as as a way to help people through the pandemic.
Great.
And I think that that's true, not just with my chorus, I think with every single barbershop chorus out there.
Yeah, it's something that we all know intuitively, but we don't seem to project that,
Right.
yeah, to people who are outside of our membership. That's great. Anyone else got questions for Joe?
It's not really a question, it's just a comment. One of the things that we do have here in Nanaimo is Nanaimo Sings, which is an organization for different choruses to have a united concert, I think every other year or something like that.
Yes.
Every other year, and but there are meetings that have been looking at the overall idea of singing during pandemic, and we talked about a little bit about directors facing financial issues because they're paid, and then if there's no performances to bring in income, how do they get paid, or do they just walk away from the job? I'm not talking barbershop, I'm talking about other choruses.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, you know, like university choruses, which is a hotbed for voices, what are they going to do? And what does the fall look like for them? How do you give a degree in music if you never meet with the people, right? It's
Yeah.
very complicated. And then are we going to missing out on more generational people who don't, they say, well, you know, I'm not going to go to university for singing anymore, or different things. There's lots of different aspects of it. But I am glad that on Vancouver Island, we've been relatively safe from COVID, relatively safe. And we're very thankful for that, the opportunities to share with others, but also I think as many of us have sung in some kind of quartet or some kind of get together over the past month or two, not at the initial part. So, you know, we're very thankful for what we do where we live as well.
Yeah. You know, that network, Nanaimo Sings, is something that, you know, you can find something like that in some communities, and you're incredibly fortunate to have something like that there in your community. Part of what I do as a staff member for the Barbershop Harmony Society is I travel as a clinician to youth events. And whenever I end a youth event, I ask them to turn the lights on, and I ask all of the parents in the room to stand up. And I say, if you sang music in grade school, I want you to remain standing. And almost everyone in the room remains standing. And then I say, now, if you went on to college and you sang in college as well, I want you to remain standing. And almost half of the room sits. And then I say, all right, one more question. If you are still singing, I want you to remain standing. And by that point, there's maybe only 3 or 4 people left standing in the room. And singing is one of those things that, unless you go to church and sing every Sunday in the choir, it's something that most people stop doing after grade school or college. And that is another reason why we exist, and we don't utilize it all that much. But we are one of the few intergenerational options for lifelong singing. And I always end those youth events by reminding that community that there is barbershop here in their community, and that they don't know it, but their lives are badly in need of singing, and that they should rely on their local barbershop outlets to engage in those benefits. So, you know, it's great that you have that network in Nanaimo, and I would be that voice for lifelong singing and intergenerational singing as well, because those college groups and those school groups need to know that there is an opportunity and a place for them to go in Nanaimo when they're done with their singing in school. Other questions?
Comment, if I may. Put the camera on. Yeah, I've personally found the singing is actually kept me sane this last while. Our family circumstance with my wife locked away in a care home for quite a while. I've been fighting depression and grief actually for the last 5 years. And the chorus has really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And it's very incredibly powerful.
Right.
I can attest to everything you've said. Thank you. And your diction, by the way, is excellent. Thank you. I've got old ears.
Thanks for sharing, Chris. You know, I have found in my chorus that my guys are not as forthright and confident with sharing things like that. So it's not easy to find those in the chorus who are struggling, you know, and that's why it's important for us to come together, you know, and not wait for someone to say, hey, it's me. I'm the one struggling with depression. We just have to keep showing up for each other because, and I think we know this as barbershoppers. If you've been a barbershopper for a while, you know that what we do changes lives. And you also know that a majority of the time, you don't even know when and who it's happening to, but you know that it's happening.
Exactly.
Right? And, you know, it's when you have someone in the chorus that can articulate that, you know that you can help them, but it's the various people who, you know, are never saying it. And that's the reason why we need to keep coming together, and we need to be there and provide that essential social connection for whoever happens to need it the most, but might not even be saying it at the time. So I appreciate you saying that, Chris.
Yeah. As I said many times, I haven't found, in 15 years, I haven't found a barbershopper I didn't like. They always seem to be really giving guys, you know, time and thought and hugs. I like hugs. I miss the hugs.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I think we all do. Yeah.
61 years, it sucks.
Oh, man.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet, Chris. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Joe?
They don't have to be related to the talk. They can be barbershop. They can be anything. Any other questions?
I just want to thank you, Joe, for coming all the way out here to BC.
And boy, are my arms tired.
Joe?
Pleasure, Kent.
Hey, Joe, do you have any barbershoppers who have accepted ladies in their groups, or are you all still male groups?
So the chorus that I direct is an all male group. Now I have been a Sweet Adeline director and a Harmony Incorporated director for a number of years, but the men's chorus that I direct is they're in their 73rd year as a chorus this year. They remain all male, but we are talking about starting a women's chorus actually before the pandemic is over. We're hoping to get a women's chorus off the ground so that we can kick off, once we're able to get back together, it can be something where what we've realized, Denise, is that as I said earlier to Glenn, you know, as we've opened ourselves up to the community, we've realized how many women are also in need of this opportunity to sing. So we've had women joining our call and singing along with us.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, we've had women joining rehearsal, singing along with us, and we've thought, you know, if we really do want to be a community asset when this whole thing is over, we should have a place for them to go. So we're currently in the process of organizing something like that right now.
We have how many, Mac, in the Rising Tide now? How many are we?
We have about 18 singers, about half between, well, two-thirds male and a third female in our little mixed chorus here as part of the Nanaimo chapter.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. I was a Sweet Adeline for a while. I still have a women's group, But the Rising Tide Singing with Men is a whole new venue, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I was glad that happened.
Yeah, I've traveled over to Germany and England and some of the other countries that have been doing mixed barbershop for a long time. And honestly, what they have found, the average age of a barbershopper in Germany is 36 years old, right? The average age is causing the mixed harmony is actually causing the average age to decrease because of how much fun people are having and coming together and singing, and their conventions are less of a contest and much more of a party and celebration. So, you know, this is relatively new for us in the Barbershop Harmony Society, but I would imagine 5-10 years from now, it could have incredibly positive trends on our membership and the overall health of our organization. So I really, really applaud you for taking those efforts and getting a mixed chorus started. And I hope that you find the same sort of thing happening in your journey, that it just infuses excitement and more people join. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with the single gender experience, because I do think that my chorus will probably preserve the all male single gender experience, but to have that opportunity for women and every now and then get together to do something mixed, I think is a great opportunity. It's a great option to be able to provide our community.
Well, I'll check in with you, Joe, on that in a few years, see if you're still all male.
That would be awesome, Denise. I would welcome that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to add, after half a century in the hobby here, the opportunity to direct a mixed group is so much fun.
Yeah.
And so much. Well, I miss it because of the pandemic, but it is so much fun because the vibes are so different than all male or all female, which I've directed both.
They're better looking too, eh?
Absolutely. You know, and you know, Ken, looking at you, I understand that.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing. They talk about our society being an aging society, and I say good on them. That's what keeps you young. Sing.
You're
Sing
right.
as long as you can.
You're right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
When Ed and I kick the bucket, the average age of these two choruses is going to drop by 40%.
Yeah, by the way, Joe, our average age is 67. So in our course.
Yeah, there you go.
We are, yeah. This has been just an absolutely wonderful, wonderful presentation, Joe. Thank you so much for bringing your enthusiasm and your planning and your foresight to us on Vancouver Island. It's such a great thing. We here, we're like you guys, we've got the pandemic issues. Some of us are able to sing in quartets and some of us are not, but it's good to be there. So thank you very much. And we've got this recorded so we can listen to it and think about it and grow from it. Thank you so much for coming into us from the East Coast. And we'll have you come back here to
what he
Vancouver
said.
Island again.
Yeah, you bet, guys. It was great to see you all virtually, and I hope that you know this all is over with soon, and that I can come back to Harmony College Northwest and see you all in person again. And in the meantime, you know, stay safe and find an opportunity to keep singing wherever you can find it, because it's really, really important.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much, Joe. And good night to the East Coast. And there'll be some.
Thanks for giving your time, Joe.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime, guys. You all take care.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joe.
So
Bye-bye.
we've got a bunch of guys that might want to sit around for a bit of for an afterglow, and that's cool. Some of us need to go to have some dinner, but that's okay too. So
Some of us
anyway.
need to go to the bathroom.
Alex
Oh,
wanted to share. Alex wanted to share something.
Yes.
Yeah, I last night or yesterday, all day I was home alone. Chelsea was driving up with her parents to pick up the kids from Port Hardy. They were staying with my sister for a week, and so I was home. I didn't have anything pressing. I was a tinge hungover and thought I'm just going to sit in front of the computer and finally get to sit down. I haven't done any arranging since You'll Never Know, and I sat down and punched out a Billy Joel song, basically from start to finish. I think it could be considered done now, but my quartet may put some tweaks on it, perhaps.
Neat.
Which song, Alex?
True to the original.
Way about her, don't know what it is. But
Right.
I know that, yeah, that one.
Yes.
Alex, are we still recording?
Yeah, I'll
We can probably
cut that.
stop now.
Good point.